Good evening, and welcome to the regular meeting of the New Canaan Board of Education, Monday, August 18th, 2025. I'd like to call to order, and let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. So next, I'd like to get a motion, please, to approve the agenda for tonight, August 18th, 2025. Brendan, second. Julie, all in favor? Thank you. And then if we can approve of minutes from a long time ago, July 14th, 2025. Can I get a motion? Brendan, second. Phil, all in favor? Excellent. Thank you. Next, moving on to comments from the public. To ensure the public's right to be heard, the board set aside time during the meeting for public comments. 2 minutes will be allotted to each speaker and a maximum of 15 to each subject. Would anybody like to approach the board? All right, seeing as there are none, we'll move on to reports and recognition with an exciting dome update.
Yes, good evening. It's good to see everybody. Welcome back. I'm thrilled to introduce Melinda Meyer to you. As you know, Melinda Meyer is our Director of Innovation. She has also been spearheading and coordinating some of the amazing work that's going on in our dome upstairs here in the high school, which she'll give a thorough presentation about now. As you know, the dome was a public-private partnership. The town helped with some of the funding. The group led by Sarah Schubert did quite a bit of private fundraising as well. Board members here were all generous contributors towards that. And as a result, we have an amazing space upstairs that Melissa's going to talk about. We wanted to get a year under our belt to really get a feel for how we're going to be using it and get some thoughts together around future plans. And Melinda will be talking about all of that tonight.
Right.
It's all yours, Ms. Meyer.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you to the Board of Education and Administration and the community for the opportunity to share a dome update with you tonight, and also for your ongoing support. Since its opening in the spring of 2024, the Dome has become a remarkable resource for our faculty and our staff, transforming the way that we explore, learn, and connect. In its first full year, the Dome hosts experiences that inspired curiosity across disciplines, sparked collaboration among teachers, and immersed students in learning that feels both personal and shared. This unique experience engages all the senses and creates moments of wonder that students embrace together as a community. As we share our Dome update, it's important to revisit the board's goals connected to the Dome. These goals guide our work and frame the progress we're about to highlight. This year's Dome-related objectives focused on two main areas. The first was deepening staff expertise and expanding access through a train-the-trainer approach. The second was developing turnkey curriculum units so students at different grade levels and can experience the Dome across multiple disciplines. Reaching these goals really does take the right people, and we're fortunate to have a core team that brings the Dome to life for our students and teachers. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the team behind the Dome. Unfortunately, they weren't able to be here tonight, but they are watching from abroad and from home, and the recording of this as well. So there are some of us who are here tonight. Our team includes our superintendent, Dr. Brian Letzi, who is a master at presenting to community groups and organizations. Our astronomy and chemistry teacher, Jeff Brenson. Our newest addition to the team, Nikolai. Myself as the director of innovation. And our auditorium manager, Zach Whitlock. Each of us brings something a little different to the team, whether it's content expertise, curriculum design, supporting students in production, coding, or running the control systems that make the Dome work. And this team plays an essential role, not only in operating the Dome, but also in training most of the teachers who use it, ensuring that this resource is sustainable and accessible. That training has fueled the level of use you'll see on the next slide. This slide compares Dome usage from year 1 to year 2 across 4 categories: community, school, training and operations, and curriculum. Community events include things like Dome casts and open houses. School events represent faculty visits typically done during their staff meetings. And here you want to see a decrease. That means that's good. It means that more staff is being familiar with the dome and the resources that it offers. Training and operation covers teacher training and system updates. For example, when we just installed our new surround sound system in June, those installation and training dates appear in the numbers up on the screen. We want to see these numbers increase because it means that more staff are trained and the technology is up to date and well maintained. Finally, curriculum events are those embedded directly into New Canaan Public Schools curriculum. And the big jump here reflects our expansion into new grade levels and disciplines. The numbers under year 1 and 2 represent events, but an event can span multiple days. So for example, a grade 2 field trip to the dome is represented by 1, although it crosses many days, rotating through the dome. So in total, the dome was in use 109 days this past year, sometimes with 2 or 3 different events happening on the same day. And it's worth noting that these totals are based on what's scheduled within our scheduling system. We know that there were additional events that weren't formally logged, so the actual usage is even higher. So simply put, more teachers are trained, more students are engaged, and the dome is being used more than ever before. This growth is exciting, but the real story goes beyond the numbers. It is inside the kinds of learning experiences that students and teachers are having inside the dome. So let's take a closer look. In year 1, curriculum use centered mostly on science, astronomy, physics, geophysical science, and environmental science, and some work at the downtown campus. We also had experiences in grades 2, 5, and 8 that gave us a strong foundation in our first year to start. In year 2, we expanded significantly. We added new grade levels for grade 4 at South, grade 6 and 7, and new disciplines like music, film, school counseling, and even summer enrichment. One of our initial goals of the dome was for every New Canaan Public School student to have a dome experience before they graduate. Based on this expansion, students will soon have multiple opportunities to engage in the dome at different grade levels before they even leave the intermediate school. This creates a strong foundation for them to continue to use the dome as a resource in the middle and high school and make this a familiar part of their education. So the next question is, what does that actually look like for our students and teachers? So over the next few slides, I've selected a few examples. I have a ton of them, but just a few of them to highlight some of the experiences in world language, film, music, and science, and the experiences that make this dome experience possible. So one of the real strengths of the dome is the ability to bring models to life in a way that can be manipulated and explored over time. This short video clip is narrated by grade 8 science teacher Stephen Tomatzowitz, who explains how he uses these models with his students.
One of the skills that gets very developed at SACS is analyzing, critiquing, and the creation of models. So much of science is built upon the updating of previous models to reflect new learning. And a thoroughly revised model helps us gain insight into the world of the very small or large or complicated and make it accessible. One of the most difficult things to model for anyone is the solar system. The size of the planets and the distances between them stretches our imagination. You literally cannot put a scaled model of the solar system inside of a classroom. Even if scaled to 100 yards, Earth would be the size of a grain of sand. Complicating this is that whenever we're told to think of a model of the solar system, it is typically the sun on one side and then the planets in a nice line stretching out to the right, which is really quite inaccurate. To undo this bias, we have to start with comparing Earth to each planet, and that begins to showcase the size difference. Then we move on to a mathematical model using a spreadsheet and some coding to allow students to adjust the size of a model Earth and see how it would impact the size of other planets and their orbits. But even this leaves so much to the imagination. The dome, on the other hand, removes all doubt. It allows students to fly to each planet at the speed of light and experience the sheer scale of our solar system. We can land on the moon or Mars and fly within solar nebula. It's an experience that very few people, not just 8th graders, but people will ever get. And it's a 10-minute walk away.
So what I love about Steven's explanation is how it shows students building understanding step by step from simple comparisons to mathematical models and finally to the immersion experience at the dome. This is exactly the kind of learning we want for our students, moving beyond memorizing facts to build accurate, lasting mental models. And to make these kinds of experiences possible for every teacher, our team develops custom tools like control panels. These panels serve as dashboards that include the coded graphics, models, and functions teachers need at their fingertips. Jeff Brenson, one of the DOME team members, has been developing this exoplanet control panel that will allow teachers to guide students in exploring astronomical objects and phenomenon in ways never before possible. This is the kind of tool that ensures these experiences are not just one-time events, but sustainable curriculum resources that any teacher can use with confidence year after year. So we're very excited to be rolling out this new dashboard in the upcoming school year. Just as Steve explained with the solar system models, the DOME makes it possible for younger learners to experience abstract ideas in a concrete, memorable way. The Artemis visit for South Elementary School is a great illustration of that. Our fourth graders had an unforgettable journey into space science during their visit to the DOME this year. The immersive experience brought the Artemis 1 mission to life, connecting directly to the school's moon tree, grown from seeds that had traveled to the moon and back. Inside the DOME, students were captivated by the visual simulations of the Artemis mission from launch to the return back to Earth. And this trip not only connected our students to real-world science exploration, but also inspired wonder and creativity and pride in their growing moon tree. What makes the DOME especially powerful is that it serves as both a classroom and a lab. It's not just where students come to learn, it's where teachers experiment, create, and refine lessons. In February, we hosted a professional learning session that brought together Magic School AI, immersive learning, and the World Language Department. The session was co-led by the Director of World Language, Dr. Kemen Holly, and supported by our DOME team. K-12 world language teachers designed culturally authentic virtual journeys and then led their peers through these tours entirely in Spanish, Latin, Mandarin, and French. The energy was remarkable in this space. So looking ahead, we're excited that our upcoming upgrade to Digistar 2025 software, which includes Google 3D photorealistic tiles, will make these tours even easier for teachers and students to create, design, share, and experience. And so they will create these, hopefully this coming year, these immersive virtual journeys. The art department has also been using the DOME in creative, innovative ways. In photography and Photoshop, students explored landscape and outdoor photography with visiting wildlife artist, our very own Lisa Jurosik. The DOME scale and image quality gave them a striking immersive canvas that heightened both engagement and participation. In advanced film, students experimented with non-traditional storytelling and collaborative projects. They screened 2001, A Space Odyssey in the DOME and created original productions using 360-degree video, which challenged this group of students to think differently about storytelling, perspective, and audience engagement. These projects were led by our art and film teachers, Jennifer Osinski and Maggie Pinero, who help our students see the DOME as more than just a place to learn. It is a platform where they can produce, innovate, and share their voices in creative ways. Similarly, we're also seeing the creative shift in the music department. The piece you're about to see is Austral Projections, a musical journey into the unknown. Our student composers create their own original scores under the guidance of Ben Kibbe, who is a New Canaan High School music tech teacher, and then with the support of Zach Whitlock, projected celestial imagery onto the DOME to accompany the music that they had developed. So it's much better in person than the dome, where it's all encompassing for you. But it gave you a little bit of the glimpse of how they were able to bridge original music and the immersiveness of the visuals that we're able to have in the dome. And those compositions were not created overnight. It took many months of design, iteration, and revisions to create the showcase event that happened in June. I just shared with you one example of 22 products that were produced by 14 students. And this video compilation that I'm about to show you will give you a sense of the work behind the products, showing you the process our students went through in composing and developing these pieces, not just the product. What's exciting here is that the students weren't just consuming content, they were actually producing it. They composed, designed, and performed an original experience using the dome as their canvas. The dome has also connected our community to global events. That includes Domecasts. Domecasts are live, full dome broadcasts that are streamed to planetariums worldwide, including our own, as well as curated artistic programs like Mesoamerica, which bring creative, immersive content directly to our space. In February, we piloted the use of the Domecast for Music of the Spheres with the US Space and Rocket Center. This live stream blended music and cosmic visuals, and for this pilot, we kept it small so that we could focus on refining the logistics and the delivery of it. And then we had in June our second Domecast, which was the Rubin Observatory First Look Watch Party. And we were one of more than 300 sites worldwide who were able to experience the first ever images captured by the world's largest digital camera. As you're seeing tonight, the Dome has quickly become an incredible resource for our students, staff, and community. Looking ahead, we are building on this momentum in several key ways. First, in 2025, we'll receive a major software upgrade that includes new subscriptions and enhanced features like the Google 3D photorealistic tiles, which will make it easier for disciplines such as world language and history courses to design learning experiences. We're also expanding our elementary offerings so that students begin engaging with the dome early within their journey. In addition, we are exploring opportunities to use this new software and subscriptions to develop public shows and possible lecture series, bringing the dome to families and community members and not just students. And most importantly, we'll keep supporting students in producing their own content, including music, arts, modeling, and video game design, empowering them not only to learn in the dome, but to create in it. The horizon for the dome is bright, and we're proud of how it continues to connect curiosity, creativity, and community here in New Canaan. Thank you again for your continued support.
Thank you so much. What a great presentation. It's great to see how it's being used so extensively. I wasn't really sure when we did it. I knew it was going to be really cool and fun, but it's wild to see just the depth and the breadth of usage. Questions, comments? Yeah, Matt.
Melinda, thank you very much. This is very informative. I appreciate that. To Hugo's point, could you give us an estimate as to what sort of the percentage utilization is, both within the school system and also for outside parties?
Right now, I would say it's mainly used within the school system itself, within the curriculum, clubs, and now actually summer enrichment with the camps. So that's what we really focused on within this year or two of development.
So I guess, I mean, sort of compared to what the capacity is, right? What we could use it for, what percentage are we using it based on the capacity, what's available? Like, is it 50, 60, 80? I mean, how much excess capacity do we have to increase utilization?
I think right now, so the workshops and presentations that I'm a part of are really based within the school community piece. So there are some bookings that I'm not exactly sure of, but what I pulled from, it was mainly used within the school system itself. But again, we're looking for expansion opportunities in the future.
Yeah, I can jump in. We've done, and on the stellar stats slide, you said 14 different community events. Having hosted the majority of those are meetings with like the Rotary or Exchange or the Men's Club or the Encore Club, or that list goes on, the Board of Realtors, others. We had Get About come over the summer. We did a presentation for them and other things. So we're looking to expand more and more as time goes on. We also had our students in our STUCO, I think it was a STUCO, maybe it was NHS, National Honor Society, I think it was. They have a sister school in Bridgeport that's an elementary school, and it was the kids' idea, and they wanted to bring their kids to the dome, so they did. And the kids from the elementary school in Bridgeport had a field trip to come. They ran the buses, they had their experience, and it was our students' idea. They put it together, they hosted it, and did all those things. So we're starting to sort of build concentric circles around our district as we invite more and more to come in. And we are looking, you mentioned quickly Mesmerica, that's a company that's doing this on weekends, Fridays and Saturdays, and they run the show, and then we charge just a flat rate for the use of the space right now. And as the resource committee is going to look at the use of building and sort of how we best should charge that. So we've got them coming in. We also have, the catalog is building out more and more, so there's more interest that way as well. So I think for year one, it's hard to give a number because you could say it's available all day, 24 hours a day. But I would say that as far as sort of last year as a baseline of what we had versus this year, that we've significantly doubled, tripled, quadrupled the usage. And if you look at just the grades that have come through, I mean, it was all of Saks, which is 1,300 kids. It's some of the elementary grades, and then of course the high school kids. So if we measure it that way, we really have more than half of our students of this past year have gotten exposure to the dome.
Okay, great. That's where I was going. I was wondering sort of how are we going to, not just externally, but roll it out? And I think some of these priorities on the horizon look excellent, right? Sort of, what's the priority? Is it sort of when you say expand elementary offerings, right? Do we have any more clarity as to what that involves and sort of what grade levels would that include, and sort of how frequently those elementary school kids would have to participate in the dome experience?
Yeah, so at the end of last year, at the different schools, the instructional leaders of each grade level talked about what their field trip experiences look like for the upcoming school year. And so every grade level wants to come here in order to have an experience. And so then we look at, what is the program that supports curriculum, whether it's social studies or science, and then what are the resources we have to provide them with like a film, or is it an experience, or is it a combination of both? one of the things we talked about is how do you partner with resources in the town, such as the nature center, and how do you design an experience with a nature center that used to go into the schools, but now actually could come here, and they can have an experience in the dome, and then they can build off of that with the experience with the nature center. So those are things that we are looking to do in this upcoming school year.
Perfect.
And one of our visions for it is that it'll be, we'll earn enough through rentals to be able to maintain, manage, and continue to build the catalog. So that, it's enough of a profit center over time with Mesmerica and other opportunities that we have, that we can build out that catalog to have programming that's relevant for our kids at all grades, based on the curricular content things. And right now, of course, it's Melinda and science and innovation and space, but one of the visions I and many of us have for it is to expand into the other disciplines as well. So why not, do something with the social studies or do something in the humanities, and to, again, continue providing kids an opportunity to create their own content and present it as well, so. Yep.
Great. Brendan?
Thanks for the presentation. It's exciting. I just wanted to learn a little bit more about the software that's used to create content and whether, students can do that on their own or they need to have specialized software or be in the dome. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It depends on what they're trying to create. So if you're in the dome and you're in an astronomy class and you're using the tools within the Digistar, so the system's called Digistar. And if you're looking to build in the Digistar system, then you need to be in the Digistar platform. So we didn't want people being tied to having to produce in the dome. So we do have remote workstations, which are laptops that we teachers and also students can sign out in order to have the software that's in the dome also on these laptops in order to build and create. When it came to the video, the 360 video, that is outside of the Digistar system. And so you're really looking at things within the Adobe suites, you're looking at things that are within Photoshop, you're looking at software that's already, we use Insta360 cameras, and so there's software that comes directly with that. And some of those we're putting onto iPads, so the students don't have to download onto their own devices, but we're playing. So it's the first year, and we're learning a lot about where to house some of that so that students have easy accessibility, but also kind of keep it on the devices that we have. So that's a little bit of that. And then the video game platform is another platform that we're exploring. Unreal is the name of it, and so that also is separate from the dome. And so we're kind of looking to see how the two connect. The Digistar 2025 software upgrade really talks about the integration of the Unreal within our system, so we have to learn more. You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Great. Thank you so much, Melinda. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to action items. Last time we approved as a first reading the 2025-2026 district goals. And tonight we will have continued discussion and then a motion to approve as a second reading. So open it up to comments, questions on the first reading. And maybe Dr. Lutzy, if you want to mention any changes or anything that had come up since we had that first reading.
Let's see. Nope, we really, I was just going to go to goal 4D, which says to utilize the train the trainer model to deepen expertise and broaden access to the dome while protecting its state-of-the-art technology and equipment. I want to, did she leave already? I was going to commend Melinda. Because Melinda, Zach, Jeff spent a week in Pennsylvania. She's on her way. She's in the dome. They spent a week in Pennsylvania training on the newest and best uses of the dome as we upgrade our software. So during the summer, they went away and did that together and came back with, and they're doing amazing things with the new technology already. So I point that as an example of how relevant and actionable our goals are. Again, when we create our goals, we're not talking about a 5-year kind of conceptual strategic plan. We're talking about on the ground, these are the things we're going to be doing this year in 25-26. I think that's a great example because they are becoming the trainers now who are helping the rest of us learn how to use it.
Everybody good? All right. So, what am I looking at here? Can I please get a motion to approve for second reading the 2025-2026 district goals and objectives as first moved and seconded by Mr. Hogan and Mrs. Toll respectively? Laura, second. Brendan?
Actually, just doing a vote, just all in favor.
Got it.
Because
All
we
in
have one.
favor of passing district goals? Excellent. Looks like unanimous. Perfect. Thank you. We're good.
Motion, just a vote.
And then a vote on the 2026 BOE meeting schedule. Any discussion or any changes?
One question did come up about that. I'm just going to pull up a calendar very quickly to see, and definitely glad to make adjustments or not, as is the will of the board. But in April, we have our spring break in April of 2026, the week of April 6th. And then on the calendar, we have a meeting on the 13th, on this in front of you, and then on the 27th of April. And then we turn right around and have another meeting on May 4th. So there was a question of, should we have 2 meetings in April, or should we have one on April 20th in order, and then keep the pacing of the 1st and 3rd and the other months? It just throws us off with the spring break in the first week. So what the proposal was to do was to keep the 2 meetings, but then it's 2 meetings in a week, from Monday the 27th, and then again Monday, May 4th. So it's up to the board if you'd like to go to one on the 20th or keep the 2 on the 13th and the 27th. And I will just share that with spring break right there, we'll be probably wrapping up our budget sometime around April 1st. And we will be seeing quite a bit of each other between January and April 1st. But that's a good thing, so it's up to you.
And and then we're also just coming back from spring break that Monday,
Right,
right?
right.
I think it's fine to go to the 20th.
Yeah, I think so too.
Agreed.
Do we need to make a motion for that?
To amend.
Yeah.
I have one other suggestion. Is it possible to do the budget workshop at 8 a.m. instead of 9? Or is there a reason it's at 9?
Nope, it just allows me to get a cup of coffee.
8:30?
8 o'clock is fine.
8:30?
8 o'clock is fine.
Okay.
We'll have a cup of coffee together and start at 8:15. How about that?
All right. Does that work for others?
Yeah.
I think earlier is better, yeah.
Early is better.
Good change.
Okay,
I've heard it.
Okay.
thanks.
All right, so
So
I
you wanna
need a
make
motion, huh?
To make 2 amendments.
So I'd like to ask for a motion to make 2 amendments to the 2026 Board of Education meeting schedule. First, moving the budget workshop to 8 a.m. on the 9th of January from 9 a.m. And second, to consolidate the April 13th and 27th meetings into one meeting on April 20th. Can I get a motion? Laura, second. Phil, all in favor? Motion passes.
So motion
So now
to
we need to-
accept it as
Now we
amended.
yeah. Now can I get a motion to accept as amended the 2026 Board of Education meeting schedule? Matt Campbell, second. Julie, all in favor? And now I need to pass.
Nope, we're
Now
good.
we're good.
We amended, we passed. We should be good.
I don't have a whole lot of time left as chair to figure out all this stuff. I'm gonna get it right one of these days.
It's been a good month.
All right, so back on to comments from the public. Anybody want to approach the board? All right, and then announcements and future business.
Sure. Just to share briefly with the board, we are back in partial swing, I guess we'd say. We had our administrative retreat last week. We were at the Alumni House on the Fairfield University campus and had a great 2 days together. We had 30 people there. We had folks coming in to talk to us about positive psychology and leadership and the benefits of positive culture and environment with our faculty and staff and district. So it was a great couple of days. We came back on Monday. On Friday, met up with the ad council and met with each of our operational leaders and managers, like Elmer in transportation, Ian in technology, et cetera. And I got an update from them and learned that we're in good shape, so we were able to relax this weekend. And this morning, we began our new teacher induction, where we had, Darlene, do you remember the exact number? 34 new teachers here in the room with our new carpet, if you haven't noticed. And we introduced them to the New Canaan Public Schools, welcomed them on board. Hugo welcomed them from the Board of Ed, and they're off and running as well. We'll meet with them again on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we'll have our convocation, where our faculty is back for their first day. So we'll have convocation Thursday, professional learning Friday, professional learning Monday, and then Tuesday, our kids are back. And the first day of the 25-26 school year. And if it feels a little bit early, in part, it is because of the way this calendar sets up this year. And if you take a look, you'll see that it's over the holiday break at the end of the year, it's 12-day break, which is very long because of where New Year's Day falls, where Christmas falls. So it's on a Thursday, so then you still have the Friday with the 2 full weekends, so 12 days. So because of that, and a few other holidays that fall during the school year instead, or school days instead of on the weekends, we had to get started. So we're capturing 2 extra days here that may just come in handy depending upon what the winter has in store for us. So we're excited to get going, and then for us, afterwards, our Board of Education meeting will be on September 2nd, which is Tuesday. It's the rare time that we do it on Tuesday. And we'll have, as is our tradition, our school opening reports from our principals, and they'll share where they are with their enrollment and staffing, and a quick update about what's happening. We'll have a staffing update. And we'll also have scheduled executive session, because over the summer, we've been resolving a few contracts, and we have our New Canaan administrators contract, and we hope to have our teaching assistants contract to speak with the board about, and get your approval to move those processes forward. So excited about it all. It's good to be back. Good to see people in the hallways again, and excited to get going. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Matt, second. Julie, all in favor? Excellent. Have a great night. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.